Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
Right. Shalom, Israel. It's the ISUPK, start of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahana. This is Tuesday night Brotherhood class. And the title of the class is Sacrifice for Brotherhood. And when I say sacrifice for brotherhood, I'm talking about making the hard decisions to do things you don't necessarily want to do, to go without, you know what I'm saying, to inconvenience yourself for the sake of your brother. You know what I'm saying? It's very important that we go out our way for one another, because we would want somebody to do the same for us. Just like we would want the Most High to forgive us for our sins, we got to forgive each other for the things that we do against one another. And that same thing is true about Christ. If Christ didn't sacrifice for brotherhood, none of us will be able to be forgiven for the things that we've ever done. We would still owe the debt that our forefathers and us as well owed for our past lives, for the past lives that we lived, the way we was heathens, you know what I'm saying, out in the world, you know what I'm saying, instead of being in the truth. We owe a debt to the Most High. But thanks because of our big brother, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, we have an opportunity to be forgiven and to inherit the covenant, you know what I'm saying, the promises that was promised to our forefather Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know what I'm saying, and on down. But yeah, so before I get started, if anybody got any questions, you feel free to put them in the chat. I'll answer all questions today. And yeah, I'm gonna get started. The first verse we're gonna go to is Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 18. It says, "He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool." A lot of people talk bad about one another. A lot of brothers got negative things to say about each other. I make my TikTok solely to promote the unity of Black and Hispanic people, right? And there's brothers that's in the Black community and sisters in the Black community that don't want us to be joined together. They want us to separate from the Hispanic people. And I really don't understand the logic. You know, they say because of what ICE is doing, they're saying that they voted for that. But not every Hispanic voted for ICE or for Donald Trump to be in office. Not every Hispanic voted for the destruction of our people. Just like not every Black person voted for Obama. Not every Black person voted for Joe Biden. But there are the rich and the wealthy that did vote for Obama. The rich and the wealthy that did vote for Joe Biden. They wanted homosexual people to have rights and have power. You know what I'm saying? And that's what them voting for. That's what they voted for. But does that mean that all Black people wanted Obama to be president? No. Does that mean all Black people wanted Biden to be president? No. So that same thing that same logic got to be used when looking at the decisions made by our Hispanic brothers and sisters, right? But this verse talking about evil, I'll read it again. It says, "He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool." Our people who choose to utter slanders against the rest of our people, they fools. Those Black people that say this ain't our fight, they are some fools. You know why they fools? Because after those brothers and sisters is targeted and done being attacked, who's the next people they're gonna come for? The regular slaves that they've been coming for here in this country. Right now, their attention is directed towards our brothers and sisters. But after they finish doing what they're gonna do with them, they're gonna come right back to us. And only a fool would choose to be separated and segregated from our people, from our strength, from our power, than to be together. especially in a time where we both sides need to be together, right? But they hide hatred with their lying lips. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go to another verse. In Proverbs, we'll go to Proverbs 17 and 17. It says, "A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." Right now, we are all facing adversity, blacks and Hispanics. We're all facing adversity. We all looking at facing deportation slash being picked up and put in cages slash being unalived by the police. You know what I'm saying? We facing all the same evils in every community that we are scattered into. You know what I'm saying? No matter where we live, we all suffering the same plight, the same oppression, under the same oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And the scripture say a friend is born for adversity. It's like it says a brother is born for adversity. Our brothers and sisters are born so that we got somebody to lean on. Just like I talked about it on my TikTok and on all rest of social media a couple weeks ago. The Alamo. Our brothers and sisters saw that we was facing adversity. And they went to war in Texas so that we weren't slaves, so that we could be free. You got whole black and Mexican communities in South America. Ain't nothing but us. You know what I'm saying? Generations of us that escaped slavery and went down there, and our brothers welcomed us with open arms. There's whole communities down there where we one people. We know we one people, but the world has taught us to be divided. But that division really comes from the fact that we was conquered by two different sets of white people, two different sets of oppressors. Salakia. And by us being conquered by two different sets of oppressors, we've been taught that it's okay for us to hate each other. Our friendship is gone. But what happens when that friendship is rekindled? When that brotherhood is rekindled? When even though we got gang members that, you know what I'm saying, that want to bang on each other, black and Hispanic want to bang on each other, themselves and each other, what happens when a brother say, I don't care about all that? When a Mexican brother say, I don't care about all that, and say, I want my brother to come over here and stand with me because we got a common enemy. How much power does that show in the hood? That eliminates all violence in the hood. Gun violence, murders, you know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 28 and 58, it's like it, 28 and 54. Let me pull it real quick. Let me see. Deuteronomy chapter 20. I muted the mic, Slakia. It says, so that the man is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. That's what the division of gang violence and all that them brought. The eye being evil towards his brother, that's violence towards each other in the streets. We got an evil eye towards our Mexican brothers, our Guatemalan brothers, our Haitian brothers, even. You know what I'm saying? Because of the division of the different oppressors that have oppressed all of us, we got an evil eye towards one another. We don't love each other. And because of that evil eye, now we gang banging. Now we committing murder against each other. All type of heinous atrocities that white supremacy has taught us to do to one another. We're learning that, and then we're committing them against each other. Salaki. But Proverbs 17 and 17 said, a friend loveth at all times. It don't matter. If you ever meet a brother or sister in the ISUPK and you out in the world, especially if you a Hispanic or a Haitian or a West Indian brother, and you meet a black brother in ISUPK, we're gonna show you love at all times, within reason, obviously. If you on some violence, aggressive, whatever, we respond. We you know what I'm saying, match spirit with spirit. You know what I'm saying. So if you want some aggressive hostility stuff, we will defend ourselves. But as far as being brothers, showing brotherhood, yeah, man, we got cookouts specifically for that reason. Every year we got 5 or 6 cookouts every year in multiple different locations. So that way you get to experience what real brotherhood look like. We don't charge people for them plates. You know what I'm saying? Your children are safe to come to the cookout. They can run around and be kids, and ain't nobody gonna yell at your babies, snatch your babies up. Your kid might mess around and get lost with one of our kids. But guess what? They're gonna be safe because we got security surrounding the entire perimeter. That's what brotherhood looks like. That's what community looks like. And that's how it's supposed to be. But again, we've been divided and separated because of the different oppressors that have oppressed us. And the ways that they've oppressed us is real psychological as well as physical. You know what I'm saying? The physical part of it was bad, but that was only for a time. The psychological part and the effect of the psychological part is what lasted to this day that got us hating one another now. Where now we got to teach a brotherhood class because my brothers and sisters don't know how to love each other no more. But it's important that we learn to love each other. And it's important that we constantly stay on that topic, teaching one another how to love each other because we think we know how to love each other. That's my boy, that's my partner, I got his back. But then something go wrong that you ain't able to, or it's inconvenient for you to be able to have his back. Now it hurts you to have his back. You still gonna have his back? What happened if Moses wouldn't have had the brothers back when he was second in line under Pharaoh? You know what I'm saying? Next to rule. Not next to rule, but you know what I'm saying? He was raised in Pharaoh's house, had access to all the riches and all the wealth. He was like a son to Pharaoh. But Moses knew that his brothers was the people that was in chains, the slaves in Egypt, the ones that was ostracized, the ones that the Egyptians wouldn't even sit at the table with. Moses knew that those was his brothers and sisters. So when he seen one of his brothers and sisters about to be unalive or being beat on by an Egyptian, he looked to his left, looked to his right, made sure the coast was clear, and then he ran down on that devil, on that heathen, and saved his brother's life, sacrificed everything, potential comfort, nobility in Egypt. He could have been went down in the record books as one of the greatest in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? But he sacrificed all of that for the sake of being a brother to his brother. He had to save his brother's life. He saw the value in his people's blood more than he saw value in the money that the wealth that Egypt was offering, the women that Egypt was offering. You know what I'm saying? He was a brother that was born for adversity. He was born to do that day, that moment. He was born to be put in that position so that he could make the ultimate sacrifice as far as, you know what I'm saying, worldly possession goes, so that he could show his brothers what real brotherhood was. That's Moses. That wasn't just no regular nigga. That wasn't no regular Israelite. That was Moses. He was sitting right there in Pharaoh's house. Got access to Pharaoh's daughters, got access to all of Pharaoh's wealth. And he turned all that down to come and save us, to be with us. He could have been cool just knowing that he was an Israelite, you know what I'm saying? Threw a couple extra pieces of bread on niggas' trays, you know what I'm saying? Made sure brothers had food, extra food. Make sure he had a good bit of extra grain, you know what I'm saying? But that wasn't enough for Moses. It wasn't enough for Moses to just stand on the sideline and give his extra little bit of extra funds to his brothers and sisters. No, he said, I need my people to be free. I need my people to not to be beat on. That brother was born for that position. He was born for that moment. And according to Proverbs 17:17, that brother was born for adversity. He was born for it. And he wasn't no coward about it. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, I be on a slave, and here that's what we call a job. You know what I'm saying? We call it a slavery. This is my job right here. Anything out there that I do, that's slavery. But a lot of times I be on the slave, man, and I work with a lot of black people and Hispanics. I work in construction. And I see the way that they talk about each other. The Hispanic brothers talk about the black brothers and sisters, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? They talk bad about each other. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to love them at the same time, love them all at the same time. Because the way I treat them, they don't do that around me. Because of how I treat them, I can bring them all together and we can have conversations. It's a small thing, but it's a mighty thing in the eyes of the Lord. Why? Because I'm showing my brothers and sisters something that they're not used to seeing. They're used to seeing, well, they don't fool with us because we don't speak English. They don't fool with us because we don't speak Spanish. They see me get out there and make a fool of myself trying to learn to speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? I fail a lot, but in me trying, I'm showing brotherhood, and my brothers show me brotherhood back. And then the black brothers see me trying or whatever, and now they join in on the conversation. So now we laughing and they start trying to attempt to do the Spanish themselves. Now we trying to learn each other's language. Now we trying to learn each other's culture. We trying to learn to love one another. So that little bit of work that you do, showing brotherhood to your brothers, it might be, you know what I'm saying, you getting laughed at or whatever. People that just don't agree with it, you know what I'm saying, got something negative to say about you whenever you ain't around, but forget them, man. What you're doing is way more important. You building up relations with people who really are our family, who don't deserve the hate that they get from us. Just like we don't deserve the hate that some of us receive from them. You know what I'm saying? We really are a whole family. And you showing them that you unifying them, and you making just everybody's days go smoother. That's just one anecdotal experience of me working in the construction field. You know what I'm saying? The construction world. You know what I'm saying? We drop that and go to hmm. Let me go Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 13 through 17. It says it's in the Apocrypha. It says, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. So you got brothers out here that want to be buddy buddy and rub elbows with the oppressor, with the boss on the job. You know what I'm saying? With the white man who runs the company, trying to get ahead of the game. You got women that'll do it. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. Your friends in this case is your Israelite brothers and sisters, man. Look, you on the job and you see how they getting treated. You see how you might not be getting messed with on the job or whatever, but you see your brother or your sister out there, they struggling, trying to get things together. They might make a couple mistakes here and there. Not nothing that should cost them their job, but it definitely gets them yelled at by the boss. And sometimes the white boss, he'll go in on them a little extra hard. It don't take you nothing to speak up and say, hey man, it wasn't it wasn't that big deal. It wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that they did, you can downplay it, help them out. You know what I'm saying? Make a joke, whatever, redirect the anger towards something else. You know what I'm saying? Stand up for your brother, stand up for your sister. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, there's plenty times on jobs where me and a brother was doing work and I didn't mess up. The brother messed up, but I still took the blame for it. Why? Because I was the more experienced man on the job. I knew that if he would have took the blame for it and he ain't got as much experience as me, they're gonna try to replace him. But I take the blame for it, they ain't gonna say nothing. Because I can go back and fix it. I'm a concrete finisher by trade. So that means whenever I'm pouring concrete, whenever we got a pour day, so lock it. On pour day, concrete comes and we gotta lay it down. And I got less experienced guys with me. They don't really know what they're doing. I let them get out and try. And I let them mess it up. Because I can come back and fix whatever they mess up. I don't got time to sit over their shoulders and individually train them. I'm gonna teach them the way I learned. My stepfather told me, just get out here and watch. Don't say nothing, don't ask no questions. Just get out here and watch. And then you try. And every time I messed up, he came back and he either told me, good job, you did a good job. Or he'll tell me, man, move, why you do that like that? You ain't seen me do that, did you? Then he'll come back and fix it. So yeah, he's telling me, he yelling at me, whatever, but he showed me how to fix what was done wrong. That same thing is what I would teach and show my brothers in the field. You know what I'm saying? If they mess up, I can fix what they do wrong. That's just brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? So I'm taking heed of my friends. I'm gonna keep going. Verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense. See, like I just said, standing up for your brother, being there for him, making sure that he's gonna be all right to continue working, making sure that he's gonna be all right in his personal life. We at the slavery, but we also in oppression. So sometimes the brother might come in a bad mood, and you don't know your level of brotherhood just might be the thing that keep him from walking off the edge, keep him from snapping on the job, snapping on the boss. He tired of the boss picking with him every day, or he perceives as him being picked with every day. It might not even be the case, but today he on edge. You never know though. Your friendship, your brotherhood to him might be the defense that saves him from getting himself fired, from getting into an altercation with a customer, getting into an altercation with other crew members. You know what I'm saying? Getting an altercation with you. Your brotherhood could diffuse problems. It could diffuse conflicts. And the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, that's one of the main things we taught as we're training to be camp leaders, is to diffuse all situations. And things get hyped, things get out of control, start to escalate. Don't never let them get out of control. But if they start to escalate, your number one priority is to diffuse. Why? Because we got to make sure our people make it back home safe when we go to camp, when we out and about. You know what I'm saying? That same thing is true though in your everyday life when you in the field. We got to make sure that our brothers and sisters is safe. You know what I'm saying? Be there for them. Be a friend. A faithful friend is a strong defense. And he that hath found such a one hath found a treasure. You treasure in that brother's life, man, in that sister's life. Counsel is the greatest thing in the earth. You know what I'm saying? The ISUPK, we have free counsel for brothers and sisters that's afflicted, that done experienced some things in their life, experienced some hardship. We got free counsel for those brothers and sisters. So if you need help, you know what I'm saying? You come to us. We are a treasure to you. We are a treasure to those people when they get that counsel. and we give them answers to the problems that the Christian church ain't gonna give them, they friends in the world ain't gonna give them, they gonna give them the thing they want to hear. We gonna give you the real solution. You do that for your brothers and sisters on the job, at the slave, whatever, or out in the world, you become treasure to them people. Why? Because you somebody that's valuable. You somebody that's there for them, and you ain't taking nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? In this world, we all surrounded by we're surrounded by an economy that just wants to take, take, take. Ain't nothing in life free. You know what I'm saying? You hear that constantly. You know what is free though? Brotherhood is free. Sisterhood is free. If I gotta go without so that you can have, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? If it's within my power to make something happen for my brother or sister that need help, that need assistance, it's my responsibility to do it. And it's free. It might cost me something on the back end, but to my brother that sees me, well, now I just became a treasure. It makes the gap way easier to bridge. It makes it easier to close because now I'm showing my brother or my sister that I'm there. I'm able to be called upon. I'm able to be relied on. You know what I'm saying? Regardless how much it might inconvenience me, their well-being is more important than my brief moment of suffering. That's real brotherhood. That's something that needs to be taught the worldwide, but the world ain't trying to hear it because no one wants to suffer. If everybody wanted to suffer, if everybody was cool with suffering, then no one would be bottom class. There would be no poverty. The law specifically is written literally to prevent starvation amongst our people. But our people starve every day because somebody has to be greedy and they refuse to suffer even remotely for the people that don't have. So what, some people made bad decisions, and so what, some people uh put themselves in situations that they couldn't just shake back from immediately. Everybody ain't you. Everybody's experience in life ain't your experience in life. Some people's cards was dealt a little bit less together than yours. So we supposed to just throw them away? Or do we have compassion on those people? Do we show brotherhood and sisterhood to those people and help them be there to pick up the pieces whenever they're ready to? That's what you do. You become a treasure to those people. You try to become a treasure to them people. That's the ultimate goal, is to become a treasure to those people. Why? Because one day you might need that bridge, man. You might need to cross that bridge one day. You might be down on your luck. I give you real life example, right? When I first came into the ISUPK, I was a young man. Well, no. But the story I'm telling is when I was a trooper. I'm so lucky. It was from when I was a trooper. But when I was a trooper, though, I was behind on my rent. A whole bunch of stuff happened, and long story short, a job didn't come through or some money didn't come through. I forgot the full specific situation, but I was short on my rent. I had to come up with $1,200 that I didn't have and only had 3 days to come up with it, or I was looking at potential eviction. And so I came to the school. I asked brothers to help me. I was a trooper. Generally, you don't give that kind of money to troopers, but the brothers went out their way and stood for me, spoke up for me. And you know what happened? I was able to pay my rent. I wasn't homeless. And of course, I paid back every penny that I was ordered to give back because that's brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward, here I am today, and you know what I'm saying? I'm up here at the barracks. I can be here because my brothers and sisters know that I'm going to take care of the space that we got. But the space that we have is for brothers and sisters who need help. And right now, I'm one of them people that just needed help. You know what I'm saying? But my brothers and sisters, they didn't make me feel small. They don't make me feel, you know what I'm saying, down or less than, because I had to get things together. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's how life goes. You be up and then you be down. But brotherhood is forever. And my brothers and sisters in here is a treasure to me. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell me nothing about the ISUPK. And keep reading. Verse 15. Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. There ain't nothing better than a faithful friend. Ain't nothing more valuable than a faithful friend. You don't gotta have money in life if you got a good friend who's gonna either A, help you make some money, or B, teach you how to make the money. You don't gotta have all the right answers if you got a yeah, so a friend and a big brother will be the same thing. You know what I'm saying? If you got a big brother, a brother that's more wise than you, willing to impart knowledge and wisdom onto you, you don't got to have all the answers, but you got somewhere you can go to get the right answer so that you can learn. Those things are invaluable. The scriptures say, our wisdom will be our salvation. And let me look it up, Salakia. I'm gonna pull it. It's in the book of Isaiah, chapter 33 and verse 6. Let me read it real quick. I'm trying to paraphrase it, but I couldn't off the top of my head. Salakia. Let's go to the book of Isaiah. Chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." You know what I'm saying? It said wisdom and knowledge is going to be the strength of these times. But if I don't have all the wisdom and I don't have all the knowledge, the best thing I can do is go find one of my brothers and ask them the questions I need to ask so I can get the knowledge on how to survive, especially in these times where our people is being forced to be divided, being encouraged to be divided and to hate one another. I need wisdom to be able to figure out, well, how can I reunite us when we live in a world that's constantly trying to divide us? I got to have somebody I can go to and talk to about that. That's invaluable because I get that information from the brother that's above me, the brother that's more wise than me. And I'm gonna go take that to the brothers and sisters that's out there in the world that think they wise, but they not. And I'm gonna show them what real wisdom look like by helping them bridge the gap, helping them reunite and fight against oppression without having to pick up a gun, without having to put ourselves in harm's way and danger. How to live legally and legitimately here. Slacking. How to live legally and legitimately here, so we ain't got to worry about being put in prison, put in jail, getting shot by the police. Not saying it can't still happen, but the Lord is with you when you serve Him. You know what I'm saying? It says the scripture say, "When thy ways please the most High, He will make even thy enemies be at peace with thee." I can't tell you how many times I done got pulled over by the police, and I ain't had to worry about getting shot. I ain't had to worry about going to jail. Why? Because I just gave them the information they asked for. In the ISUPK, we teach brothers and sisters not how to not break the law, so that you can make it back home safely. You don't got to be the tough guy in a situation where the oppressor has a gun and you don't. Even if you got a gun, you can't pull it because if you pull it, he's gonna shoot you. His hand is already on the gun, ready to draw down and shoot you and kill you. It's not wise to pick that fight that you know you can't win. Why not make it home so that you can go out in the streets and teach brothers and sisters how to separate themselves from this place, and you can win the war instead of winning the right here immediate battle, right? And teach brothers how to talk to the police, how to talk to the oppressor in general, so that they can get what they need and then get themselves back home safe, right? Ain't nothing more valuable than that. Verse 16, a faithful friend is the medicine of life. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. Life is hard. Life is full of suffering and affliction, even in the truth. Even sitting in this seat that I'm in, I'm an officer of 1,000 in the ISUPK. I got a little bit of ranking here. And life is still hard. But you know what is a medicine for that? A faithful friend. The friendship that I have with these brothers and sisters in here. The family that I done built with these brothers and sisters in here. It's the medicine of life, man. Life is frustrating. You got to get up and you got to go work this slavery early in the morning. And while you at the slavery, you got to deal with all type of white supremacy and white supremacy beliefs and American culture that we don't deal with. You forced to be around it. It's real draining and it's real exhausting. But you do it. And then when it's done and said, done and over with, you get to come back to the school, come to class Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You get to be around brothers and sisters, like-minded people. That's healing. That's medicine right there. You're surrounded by people who experiencing the same struggle, the same fight, the same stresses that you experience every day. You're surrounded by them and you get to feel what brotherhood and sisterhood feel like even at the end of your day full of oppression. And it's healing. It makes getting up the next day and doing it all over again more bearable. And read that verse again. It's Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 6 and verse 16. A faithful friend is the medicine of life. That's the first half of the verse. A faithful friend is the key to your success in life, man. You can't go it alone. You got to rely on brotherhood and sisterhood because when you got to try to go it alone, try to deal with your stresses, your struggles throughout life, your stress is going to go through the roof. You're going to start leaning on your own counsel. And that's the real danger. You're going to believe that, man, I can figure it out on my own, man. And then while you're steadily trying to figure it out, more bad things start happening, more pieces start fall apart, and you steadily going, I figure it out on my own. I just gotta keep going. I just gotta figure it out. No, nigga. You don't know the answer. You ain't gonna have the right answer if you do it on your own. That's how you end up in the situation you're in now. You ask brothers for help. You ask sisters for help. Find somebody that's more wise than you and get their outside perspective so that they can help you with this basic problem. To you, it's a big deal. To them, it's not a big deal because it ain't them experiencing it. So from them, they're not in dire need of an immediate answer, immediate answer, immediate answer. So they can give you a cleaner perspective on what's really going on. It's like I got a big math problem and I'm trying to figure it out, but because I'm the one who's responsible for turning the work in, I'm thinking so heavy that I can't figure out the answer. But what happened when I step back and I look at it from a distance? Okay, well, I know what a squared plus b squared will give me the hypotenuse. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to know how long this board need to be cut, I need to figure out what that length is, and then what that length is, then add them two together and then get the square root, and that's gonna give me that. That's how you figure out problem solving. You step back. But you ain't gonna have that information if don't nobody tell you that. Don't nobody teach you that. That's why you got to go to men above you. That's why you got to go to sisters that's more seasoned than you, people that know better than you, so that you can find the right answer. You know what I'm saying? Learn the right answer, and then learn how to deal with life. You know what I'm saying? A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Verse 17: Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. It says, Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright. To direct it aright means to wherever it may be faulty, wherever it might be wrong, you're gonna make it right. You're gonna stand it up straight. That's a brotherhood verse. It's talking about making sure that because of your fear of the Lord, because you seeking the most high, you seeking forgiveness from him for the things that we've done, that you've done. I gotta make sure that I'm able to forgive my brother for the thing that he done to me. I got to make sure that I can forgive this person for how they hurt me or how they might have offended me. Because they may not even meant to do it, but I can't let my anger that the world done taught me allow me to create a division, a schism between me and my brother. You know? Salakia, speaking of schisms, let me find that verse right quick. Because that speaks perfectly to what I'm talking about right now. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, and verse 25. Salakia, let me pull it right quick. First Corinthians, chapter 12, and verse 25. It says that there should be no schisms in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. We all supposed to have the same care. We are all members of the body of Christ. We're all members of the same body of one family, of the same family. You know what I'm saying? We all members of the same family. There ain't supposed to be no schisms between us. The things that divide us, they be so small and so minuscule, so trivial. You know what I'm saying? And it's really learned behavior. The hatred that we have towards one another, envy, that's not natural to us. We don't naturally hate on one another. We love to see each other do well. The problem is that we don't like to see each other do well, and we're not doing well. But that's what white supremacy has taught us to think like. That's how white supremacy think. White supremacy don't want you to prosper if they can't prosper. They don't want you to have fun if they can't have none. A prime example of that is this situation with the brother. They call him Uncle Tenderism. You know what I'm saying? The brother who got the little fall off the bone videos, whatever. He picked up the meat or whatever, and it just fall off the bone. They throw it down. He take his glass off, throw him on the floor. He get up and walk away. That's his thing. That's his brand. You know what I'm saying? And his employer is a white man, done stole the whole bit from him, stopped him from receiving a huge tip, and then fired him now that he done trademarked the word tendenism. So now if the brother uses it, that white man can sue him and get paid. That's evil. But that's the type of schism that's allowed, that's perpetuated. You know what I'm saying? The type of thinking that I can't have nothing. If you can't have nothing, I can't have it. I mean, it's like I can't. If I can't have it, you can't have it. That's learned behavior from the white man. That's what that brother experienced. That white man saw that brother's success, and instead of, well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you make your money, let you get your success, get your name up, and I'm gonna also prosper based on your success. No, it was no. This is all mine. You can't have no success. It's my success. And then he fired him, and then stole the word tenderness. He trademarked, or not trademarked, but you know what I'm saying? He licensed the word tenderism. So now the brother can't even use it, man. Something that he come up with, a brand that he come up with. So that's what I'm saying. So when we do that to one another, that's learned behavior from our oppressor. We're not naturally like that towards each other. We love each other, man. Hell, we love everybody. You know that's true because throughout all the oppression we go through in the world and that we've been through in the world, you know how hard it is to make brothers and sisters hate white people? It's damn near impossible. You showed them the truth. You showed them what they've done to us, but they still actively choose to love them. They'll still argue and fight you into the ground to be able to save Jimmy and Sarah. You know what I'm saying? Death. They'll argue and fight you in the ground to be able to save their white friends. Friends. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm gonna drop that. Well, I'm gonna go back to First Corinthians a little bit, read a little bit more. It says, and whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. So when one member of the body suffers, all the members of the body suffer. That's brotherhood, man. It hurt to be a brother sometimes because that means that even though I'm not experiencing nothing, I still gotta feel for my brother that is experiencing some type of affliction. It's inconvenient, but it's healthy. It's a very, very healthy thing for this family. It's very healthy for this brotherhood to be able to thrive and grow. I'm not suffering. I'm not oppressed. I'm not downtrodden right now, but my brother is. And that's where the problem lies. I have to be willing to help my brother because he is. I have to look at his suffering as if it's my own suffering. I have to look at her pain as if it's my own pain. And you know what happens when we do that? The members become one. It says, or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. So when one member is doing well, when one brother that done been in the hood, he was strung out on that dope and he wasn't doing nothing, digging in the trash. Nothing positive could come from this nigga. And then he changed his life. He got more money than me now. He more successful than me, more skilled than me now. I can't do nothing but be happy for him. All the members are supposed to be rejoicing because that brother got some honor. You know what I'm saying? He done found his little sliver of glory and he took it and ran with it. And now that brother is doing amazing things. And we supposed to be happy for him. We supposed to be happy for that sister. You know, it went and used to be on OnlyFans. Now she done got herself clean and not prostituting herself no more. And now she got college degrees and you know what I'm saying? She's looking to better herself. We supposed to be happy for that sister. Rejoice with her. You know what I'm saying? Because that's another member of our body that's doing well, that's excelling, breaking the norms. You know what I'm saying? But we'll drop that. Go to we can go to First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 11. Again, if anybody in the chat got any questions, shalom to everybody, every brother and sister that's checked into the class. If anybody got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I'll answer them. It's like what I call First Thessalonians 5 and 11. Lucky. The book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 11. Wherefore, it's like, let me start at verse 9. It says, for God hath not appointed to us wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, or Jesus Christ. Verse 11, it's like in verse 10, who died for us, that Whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. Verse 11. Wherefore, comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even also, it's like even as also ye do. So we're supposed to comfort each other in hard times, edify one another, teach each other things. Why? Because Christ did that same thing for us. He was the living example. He lived and died in a way that we can attain, a perfection that we can attain. You know what I'm saying? And we're supposed to edify one another. That's why I was bringing up earlier. If I know how to do something, I'm going to definitely teach my brother and sister how to do it. Why? So that I can teach them how to live. Not just survive, but how to live. Right? Verse 12. And we beseech you, brethren, to know them that which labor, slack to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you. We're supposed to know the brothers and sisters that we work with in this truth, that we live with out here in this world. Brothers and sisters grew up right next door on top of Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? We right next door to each other, same community, same neighborhood. It's important that we learn those people that we go in the world with. And when I say go to war with, I mean we fighting against oppression together on the same side with. Supposed to learn them people. That's why it's important to me that when I'm on my job, on my slavery slug here, that I'm bridging the gap as much as I possibly can. I take loads so that my brothers and sisters, we hire temps daily. And all the temps don't none of them really speak no English. So I got to go the extra mile to try to speak a little bit of Spanish or understand a little bit of Spanish, use these apps on the phones, because we got technology now, to try to understand what it is my brothers and sisters trying to say to me. Why? So that they can make this money today, so that they can survive. They can provide for their families. They'll do nothing but come and work hard. They might laugh and joke. They might be on their phones a little bit more than what we would like them to be. But it ain't nothing to say, hey, bro, come on, we got to get work. We got work to do. Come on, let's get back to work. And you know what they do? They get to work. They knock the job out. They have a good time, and then they go home and be with their families. But your brotherhood is what allowed them to be able to come and do this job. Because if it was a devil, a white man, he gonna say, "No, you go get off my job site. I don't want you here. Get off my job site. You was on your phone. Go. You got to go." And then now that brother don't make no money. Now that sister don't make no money. Now their family go out, and it might not be that drastic. It might not just be life or death right then in that moment on that one specific job. But what if it is? Your brotherhood, your level of brotherhood or sisterhood is saving them a night of hunger because they get paid daily. It's day labor. You know what I'm saying? So when you go out your way and comfort your brother and sister, you're really doing the work of the Lord right there. You really putting in a brick. It says, and we beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord and admonish you. That's also important because there's brothers and sisters that's going to be more proficient and more skilled or have a higher rank or position than you. And you're supposed to follow after their instruction, man. So when you get checked, told that you're doing something wrong, you're supposed to be able to receive it. It don't feel good to get checked. It ain't supposed to feel good to get checked because what that checking is doing is causing a problem. It's destroying the demon that's on you, that's stopping you from being able to accept growth. There's a thing in you that wants you to stay the same. It don't want you to be better. And the only way that you're gonna overcome that is if a brother tell you where you flawed at, a sister come and tell you where you flawed at. And it's supposed to sting. You're supposed to suffer that shame. It's a healthy shame. I did wrong. I messed up. It's a healthy shame. So that when you finally hear it and that check can come through and it click later on, you calm and you chill, you relax. Damn, that brother really was looking out for me. Damn, that sister really was looking out for me to be better. They wanted to help me grow. But the demon on me wouldn't allow me to hear them. It just wanted me to be angry because who are they to check me? Who are they to tell me that I'm wrong? They your brother. They your sister. They somebody who knows better than you. And we have to accept that there are people that know better than us. We think we have all the answers, but we don't. And then, like I said, if you think you got all the answers and you go carrying on as if you do, and then life start going wrong, you got to have counsel. You got to have somebody that you can rely on. That's why it's important that you know the brothers that's over you and that they can admonish you. Because they first got to tell you where you're messing up at. And then they can give you a solution to the problem. So we're not like the other Israelite groups, the fake Israelites. We're not like them individual lights, and we ain't like them Christians who are going to tell you that you're doing wrong and just point the finger, point, point, point. We're going to tell you that you're doing wrong. All right, brother. All right, sister. Now this is what you do to fix it. We're gonna help you work through that, help you try to problem solve, teach you critical thinking, so that going forward, you don't gotta rely on me to hold your hand through this type of problem, or you can have this experience and the wisdom I gave you while you went through it. So now you can deal with it on your own. Even better, now another brother coming in up under you, a sister coming in up under you, you can help them deal with it. That's real brotherhood. That's real growth. And that's the only thing that's the only possible outcome that comes from you having brotherhood, man. It's being able to be there for one another, so that if somebody was there for you, now you can be there for somebody else. Verse 13. And to esteem them very highly in love for their works' sake, and to be at peace among yourselves. So if you got a brother or a sister, like I said, that they come and they checking you and they trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying, things that you need to do to better yourself, or how you could grow, or how you could improve, you got to look at them and love them for their work's sake, man. Don't take the checking and let it cause a division between you and your brother, because the only reason the brother checking you is to tell you something that you can be better, to help you grow. But we got to be mature. We got to be adults, man. And those of us that still are young adults or children, you know what I'm saying? It's something you're going to grow into, something that you're going to learn. But it starts on a real fundamental level, understanding that somebody who's telling you something that you need to do better is not saying it to downplay the thing that you do, the good things that you do. They're doing it to destroy the bad habit that's in you, so it can instill good habits in you. That's why when Christ talked to was talking to the Pharisees, he was like, it was the Pharisees, the disciple. I have to pull it. But while he was talking, though, he was saying, I'll paraphrase, uh, we have to be born again to get into the kingdom. You know, to be born again means the old person has to die. The old habit has to die. The old ways have to die. The demons that's on you have to die. That's what it means to be born again. They die, and then you start to continue to live. You know what I'm saying? That old, evil, nasty thing that was in you, we got to kill it and then remove it. And now we're going to fill you up with this good stuff. The things the Lord would have you do, the way the Lord would have you live your life. Your thought process has to change. Your heart, when the Bible talks about your heart, it ain't talking about the thing that beat in your chest. It's talking about this thing up here, your mind. Your heart has to change. The laws being written on the inside of your body, on the inside of your heart, it's talking about being written in your mind. So now, whenever you go to walk down the street, or you on a job or whatever, you see for our brothers out here, we see a baddie walk by, thick, whatever, on the job, but she got a husband. You know she got a husband. So you know what that means? I can't look at that sister. That's somebody else's woman. Same thing, vice versa. Sister, you on a job, and you see this handsome brother, he come talking to you and he's smooth, but you got a husband. I can't talk to you, brother. I'm married. You got to be staunch in that. And you know what you're doing when you do that? You're showing the Lord that you care more about his will than your own. You laying up crowns. You asking the Most High for forgiveness and showing him why you might be worthy, even slightly worthy of forgiveness. Because you're taking his word to heart, his will to heart, and not your own selfish lust and desire. You caring more about your brother, you caring more about your people than the thing that you want. You sacrificing. And it ain't always easy to sacrifice. It ain't always fun. The damn sure ain't always fun to sacrifice. But it's very important that we do. Right? Let's go to Mark 12 and 30. It's the book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 30. Well, we'll start at verse hold on, Salakia. We'll start at verse 28. It says, and one of the scribes came, having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? I mean, which one is the most important? And Yahushua answered him, the first of all commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Slaki. The Lord our God is one Lord. Shemaya Sha'ala Yahweh Alahayanahu Yahweh Akkad. That's Deuteronomy 6 and 4. Christ just quoted it to him out the law. Verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and all thy strength. This is the first commandment. Verse 31. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. The whole law rests on these two commandments, man. We supposed to love the Most High first and foremost. No matter what our desire, our will is, His will is the only one that matters. Period. Period. But secondly, we supposed to love our brothers as ourselves, our neighbors, which is our brothers, as ourselves. We see our brothers suffering, we're suffering too. That's the only way we can help that brother is if we're able to have empathy and feel what our brothers and sisters is feeling. That's why my channel is so, my personal TikTok is so dedicated to talking about the unity of blacks and Hispanics, man. I learned something new today that from shout out to Captain Kaposh out in Indiana. I learned something new today listening to one of his videos that I didn't know. Another form of unity that I can talk about. I'm gonna make a video about it maybe tomorrow, and I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna show y'all. But our history and of the history of blacks and Hispanics is rooted in brotherhood, man. Did you know that the first president of Mexico was black? Yeah. I'm gonna get into that history as well. But again, this is more reason for why I was saying my page is more dedicated to fixing our people, fixing the bond that's been broken because it needs to be fixed. You know what I'm saying? Christ said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. I love my Hispanic brothers and sisters the way I love myself. I get a lot of pushback from them too. And they're just black people that get pushed back from my views on how we should be unified, how we should be together, regardless of who does what to who. You know, I get a whole bunch of flack from brothers and sisters on both sides of the spectrum. What that matter? I'm supposed to stop? If I let that stop me, you know what's gonna happen? The white man is gonna see that all he gotta do is send somebody to come and battle me on my position on how we should be unified, and I'm gonna shut up. That's what he's gonna learn. And I can never let that be the case. Nothing is supposed to stop me or you from teaching this truth, from showing brotherhood to our brothers and sisters, no matter what affliction arises, no matter what suffering we experience, nothing is supposed to be able to deter us from showing our people how to love one another. Hell, the Asians don't let nothing stop them from loving each other. I mean, right now you got the Koreans and the Southeast Asians, they going into it, get into it verbally, but you know what I'm saying, they've been like that forever. They're not our people. So it's understandable that they would be that way. But we, blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, our history starts with brotherhood. It don't start with us at war with one another, hating one another, despising each other. No, our history begins with brotherhood. It's important that we don't ever forget that. I'm gonna get one more verse. We'll go to Matthew chapter 18 and verse 21. And before I end the class, if anybody got any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I say it again. I answer all questions. You can also come back on Scripture Breakdown class. You can ask any question at any time on any day, but Scripture Breakdown class is the class that I teach that I really answer all questions. So if you got any questions, Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., I'll be on back in the school teaching class, Scripture Breakdown class, and I'm gonna have a topic, but I'll also get into whatever it is that you might want to ask about, right? So this is Matthew chapter 18. We're gonna go to verse 21. It says, Then Peter came to him. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times? So Peter's asking, how many times can my brother commit a sin against me and I just turn the other cheek? I just let it go. 7 times? You think that's a lot? Because we raised to believe, especially in like the modern day, a brother do something wrong, nigga ready to kill him on the spot. Maybe not the first offense, maybe the second offense. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Is that mentality? So brother be ready to off you about the second time you offend him. If ain't the first time, you ready to put his hands on you the first time you offend him. Peter said 7 times. Now in the world today, we like that's way too many times to be forgiving a nigga. He done slighted me way too many times for me just to let it go. Way too many times for me just to move on from. This is what Christ said. Verse 22. And Yahushua saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times. He said not 7 times, but until 70 times 7. It's just a number. It's a big number. So that means just forgive your brother indefinitely. But you know what you're doing when you forgive your brother indefinitely like that? You offering him a chance to change. You're offering him a chance to see, maybe I should stop fooling with this brother. Maybe I should stop mistreating and abusing this brother's brotherhood that he's showing me constantly. You're giving the brother a reason to change, something to aspire to. He sees how patient you are with him, even though he keep messing up. Even though he done stole from you, you know that he's a drug addict and you patient with him and you still offer him help. There's a chance that you can pull him out of that affliction, get that demon up off of him just by showing your brotherhood. But it'll never come to that if you can't forgive your brother. It won't. It'll never come to that if you can't forgive your sister. She might mess up, make horrible decisions that cause real life rifts between y'all. And you know the truth. She don't know the truth. You hearing it. She not in class. She not online listening to this truth. So she don't know that I need to forgive you. But you know that you need to forgive her. You know what happened when you do? The Lord forgives you for the things that you've done. That's real brotherhood, man. That's real sisterhood. And with that, I see I got no questions in the chat. So it's the ISUPK, start of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. This has been Tuesday night's Brotherhood class. Tune in tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for the law class. And then Thursday night, tune in, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for scripture breakdown class. And with that, shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under Commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 57th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th Annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under Commanding General Yohana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.